The original footage from this match is possible thanks to Sushi Night on Twitch. Please be sure to check them out for live streams and VODs in the future.
Rare in the competitive scene, right? Like, we've seen Prism, but we hardly see Vizorite.
Well, it's interesting because Vizora is one of the more played decks
Oh,
in the
no.
tournament today, but it just seems to
Prism chain loss
run
3
into
times?
problems on the Ray or run into other decks.
No, that must be.
I believe the sort of current Vizora build
That's not
is based
possible.
around
That's a different guy though. Or what do you mean?
No,
Yeah, the Nicholas
Rohan
is
is
on Prism.
You're basically able to use your Bloodshot Skeleton with a lot
Rohan
of
is Reezy, isn't he?
to Sonata.
Oh, so no,
Yes.
Nicholas was
Yeah.
the winning Prisms. This must be the other Prism.
Basically, the Blood Sheath means
Yeah,
you can
Rohan
defend
is
as,
Reezy
say,
in
15
the
if you have 30
Discord.
rune chants out and you play
Yeah.
for free. Now, it'll be interesting because
Well,
I
this
believe
isn't
Vizora builds, they
match
kind
I
of
wanted
have
to
like
see,
an
but
aggro
whatever.
build they can
I thought that was Matt Rogers' alternate account.
Explain that one for the audience.
So, how it works is rune chants
Alright, Prism, let's see what you got.
play an attack, but it won't trigger.
Yeah, they must have walked
You
around and
attack all the way whipping into
said we don't want to see any Oldheim games.
This is very relevant for things like auras and all that as well.
Well, I just am curious
we'll
now
definitely be
who's
seeing that a lot, this matchup.
if the other Prism's still
And
undefeated
also,
or
we may
not.
see stuff along the lines for Arclight
Nickel
Central
Folder.
can be interesting, but I think the thing with this
I really wish they did two top tables like they did at US Mats, so we could see two games if one ends early.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just get started. No more speculation. We're just into
War
the round.
Tune,
Henry.
Triumph Yellow, come in.
Starting out with a Herald of Triumph.
I wonder what we might see some Vizrai players play Ninth Blade of the Blood Oath. I think for various reasons, but it is very good in this matchup.
Okay, there goes the Rattlebones.
They definitely do play Ninth Blade.
Matt, you down to
Do you want to cosplay Matt Rogers and Kale after this game?
Do I want
When
to
they're
what?
listed against each other?
Wait,
Do you want
what?
to cosplay? Do you want to cosplay Matt Rogers and Kale?
Dude, let's go. Let's do it.
Does Rattlebones block 3?
I think we'll find out pretty quickly. We did see him over in Sky's block come out here. I think there was a
Rattle
balloon
blocks for
copy, so
three.
made to play that anyway.
Rattlebones blocks
But
3,
I'm
that's
kinda
nuts.
Searching for a sign to see if he's playing more sort of build up Vizrai or more of that aggro mid range build. Okay, Mordred Tie, not too bad on turn 1.
Wow, it's a good card. Alright, here comes
I'm
Mordred.
confused playing OTK into Prism.
Seven on the board.
I mean, he probably just had a dead hand. I think you still run those cards.
Well, he has yellow reads in the deck.
But I feel Rohan's got to be pretty happy with that start, right? 7 rune chance on his first turn.
100%.
And for
That's why he's
those who may
5'3".
not be very familiar with Vizrai, his hero ability is if you played a
War Tune, here it
non-attack
comes.
action.
If he really is OTK, he's about to lose this game.
Yeah, I don't understand why you'd have yellow reads in the deck if you're not OTK.
He lost turn 0.
See Henry just,
Boom.
putting his foot on the gas. The War Tune hero's coming down for 7 there with go again.
So this might be a little bit difficult for Rohan.
He's not dropping a Phantasm Breaker. He's got a CNC, but he's going to let it hit. We do like free damage. Oh, it's from the actual stream. That's weird.
Yeah, is this Rohan about to get just dumpstered here?
Well, he's getting double tomed because he let a War Tune go through, which is really funny.
Also, he didn't take down his life total.
Yeah. I hope they address those 7 damage.
Yeah.
He's probably writing it on the pad next to him. Imagine.
I feel like if he loses this, he might be like, "Oh, I lost because he double tomed me, not because he played OTK into Prism."
And also, Prism has tomes in her deck. Like, you have to be prepared for that. Because, like, tome draws you into other tome. Like, it's not as rare as you'd think. Like, they don't have to be on top of each other. They can be pretty far apart, actually, in the deck.
Okay, it's happening. Cool.
Okay, cool. They're caught up. And then He's attacking for another Herald.
God. Oh, now you're gonna pop it?
You're too late.
You always pop the first one. What the
It's not popping it at all, actually.
What are you doing, dude?
Oh, and library.
For a double tome turn, that was pretty weak. 2 War Tunes library?
And you need to mark the damage on the second Herald, too.
Bruh. Henry. Hit him. Mark the damage.
Because he only blocked with what?
A Mauve.
Mauvria?
So he should have taken a minimum of 3. Should be a maximum of 30.
Yikes.
Jesus, dude.
This life counter is not good.
It's like 1 a.m. here and we're sharper. Henry. Breaking my heart. If he loses by like not having that lethal pressure by 3 or 4 life, bruh.
There you go. Took 1 extra.
Okay. No. 3 is the minimum he would have taken. If it was yellow War
gotcha.
Take 4.
Mm.
Okay, good. Thank you. Whoever reminded them.
Me.
Thank you. Is the static gone yet?
Of course.
If it hits,
Okay, good.
Henry
Yes.
will have to discard a card.
Yep, no, that makes sense. So then he won't have the yellow cards in the pitch zone
Yeah.
to trigger the library. Okay, so he's taken the rune chance, which makes a lot of sense. Probably looking to just defend the consumer volition here.
So Henry takes the rune chance.
Okay, so Soul Shield.
Hey,
Looks like he has another
soul
Soul Shield in
sister.
hand. So I feel like Rohan needs to force some sort of follow-up here in order to stop, because otherwise we can see Henry's got a Soul Shield and another yellow pitch card, so he can sort of use one to activate, to generate a Spectral Shield, and the other probably just to play out a card. He's just got the Rosetta, which I feel probably isn't threatening enough, is it?
I think Henry will just be.
Just take that if you're Prism here.
Damage, enabling him and
Yep.
making sure he definitely gets 2 yellows in his pitch zone.
Yeah, so I feel like when you're playing Winnin', that's probably the last thing you want to see, the library come
Yeah.
down.
Most fair players' nightmares, for turn 1, turn 2, library, and you're just like, oh, what do I do now?
Yeah. Okay, so we see it's 1 yellow pitch card in for the War Tune Herald, and he's got another one in hand, so he can just generate the Spectral Shield. Or
Do you
something
think
like
he's
that.
playing yellow read the runes just because of library? You just happen to have him
Probably.
ordered into read on turn 1, so you might as well play it.
I think so.
And I
It's
believe
possible.
he used the resource for the
Like
penalty.
another-
I still more
Viewers.
Yeah, another possibility if he's running the Matt Rogers list from
Playing a Herald
like calling Orlando, that like
It's so-
he might have
it
no
feels
choice
so
but to
difficult
put
to
read the
combat against, right,
runes
if
because of all
you're-
the sync the D
and actually
reacts to
defend
make
it with the
60.
Knife Blade, but
But I
that's
don't know.
a yellow pitch card.
Yeah.
So, but I suppose you can't just hold on to it forever, or you just sort of get around to the card advantage a little bit.
So Rohan, I feel like Rohan has to get lucky and draw two yellows in one of his draw cycles.
Yeah, so that's why we talked about Prism being like sort of, back from the dead a little bit, because we haven't seen Prism feature much at all across National season, I feel.
Yeah.
Just that much, but I feel there's a number of very good players playing at New Zealand Nationals.
Yeah, because Prism struggled against Briar because of how Briar's playstyle was too fast. It did too much damage. Whereas today in New Zealand Nationals, there's so many control decks such as Oldham, Bravo, even this Viserai deck is a slower deck. With the format slowing down, Prism actually actually has a chance.
It kind of has its niche in the meta again. It's able to sort of prey on some of these slower control decks, just like overwhelming them with the strong go agains. It's got the aura plan, the great library. You know, it's great library making those yellow pitch cards very, very relevant here. And that's the thing. I feel again, Rohan wants to. My guess is in this matchup here, given the current board state, is like you were saying, he wants to either force out blocks or force a bit of damage through, and hope he can sort of draw into those 2 yellow pitch cards before the game just goes completely out of control. Kind of reminds a little bit of when you're playing sort of the Rhinar vs Dash matchup back in the day. You kind of want to just hold off until you got those Arc Smashers to get rid of their chambers. But the problem is Arc Smash is 1 card, you need 2 yellow pitch cards, and I'm not sure how many that the deck runs in total.
Yellow is definitely one of the most unpopular pitch colors in the game. So
it's almost like the devs kind of know what they're doing with some of these cards, like Great Library, making it a bit more cool. And obviously things like Luminaris as well. Okay, so we see Henry, I can see an Arclight Sentinel card in hand. Does he have the second yellow pitch? He absolutely does. I believe that's a yellow Herald of Protection.
Wartune Herald. Oh, in his hand, or he played out?
In his hand, sorry. Okay, so he defends.
Any commentary, Matt?
Again, I do wonder if there's some sort of merit to holding on to the Nightblade to wait until you draw a second yellow pitch, but is that maybe a bit doomed to failure?
No, I don't really have much to say, other than you should probably break that library.
Good strategy. Just keeping 1 card in hand, your opponent will know it's either yellow or it's a 6 or more power.
Blocking with the yellow to get rid of
now we see
Wartune.
Henry did not get to draw off the Great Library here, so it's actually
no library draw.
A bit of a window for Rohan to keep putting on the pressure. I feel he's like immediately moved away. He just knows he has no time to build up the rune chance. I feel to get there unless something just falls into his lap, like an amazing Mordred Tide into all the rune chance turn. Actually, another card he probably has in here is Rune Blood Barrier, another yellow pitch card, which he might be wanting to see very soon to get through that library.
So pitching a blue, making a rune chant.
That's unfortunately not looking that threatening. Okay, Command and Conquer. So that's good. I feel Rohan's doing a very good job of buying himself a bit of time here.
Oh, Henry actually has double Arclight Sentinel and Prismatic Shield. So
that could be a tough one to get
through. He can't actually just double block it.
I guess you could pitch the 2 Arclights for the Prismatic Shield and maybe defend with 1 other card. It would eat up all the shields. It's not the most efficient play at all, but
he might actually be thinking of taking it. To be honest,
I did wonder if the card in Arsenal for something like a blue Herald of Protection, in which case he might not mind too much. But again, the damage is starting to pile up a little bit. But one thing, correct me if I'm wrong, but one thing I've tended to notice in some of these Prism games is the life lead isn't necessarily the end of it's not purely indicative of how the game's going. Because Prism, I feel, can fall behind a bit in life and then rapidly catch up with things like Great Library or just Arclight Sentinel turns.
So he chooses to defend with 1 card. Take 3, so he can Prismatic Shield on his turn, enabling the double yellow.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And now he's able to come in with these with Go Again as well, I believe. I think that might be, I'm not sure, but I thought I saw another Nightblade in Rohan's hand, but I can't see any other yellow cards there.
Is that the 3rd time library's going to draw them 5 cards?
I think so.
Yeah, because what I suspect is what's developing here is
it's problematic.
For a few turns.
I mean, he's currently whiffed once, so
card advantage from
he's currently if the Vezrai can break it soon,
really
he'll have netted some value
Henry
from
Moore
it.
made sure he
Vezrai had broken it in the first 2 or 3 turns, it would have been fine. Net neutral.
Rohan choosing to take all the shields. Now he's playing with a 5-card hand.
Compared to if it had been like an attack.
Rohan's probably thinking stuff, in ancient history, the Great Library of Alexandria burned down at some point, and I've got to do the same to this one, otherwise I've got no shot. It's just overwhelming. But you can see, you can almost see the wheels turning in Rohan's head. He's sort of tapping the board, saying, "What can I do to get through here?" I feel those.
If you can pressure the Prism's face, the library can really slow down on its value.
eat up
'Cause
your
Prism
rune
can't
chance
really
to take away
block
triggers like meeting
and
greet,
still get
things like
value
Chain
out of it.
Coalition as well.
Yeah.
Didn't you just tell us Prism could block 12?
Yeah, but if she wants to use library, she can't block because then she'll have no cards to pitch.
I'm just messing with you.
Okay.
Is that a red Marin?
Yeah.
Vixing Mouse.
Okay.
Hey,
And it
best
comes
card in
into
the game.
Arcane, we can see
Vexing is a
Henry
good
there
card.
has Arcane
It's
Barrier
Rosetta.
1. Obviously, it's Spectral Shields as well that can sort of eat up that arcane damage.
Dude, imagine if you could Vexing every turn.
But at least it's something. It
Now,
gener-
if Henry wanted, he could use Halo of Illumination to prevent with Spell Void 2 to prevent Vixing Mouse.
That's true. Did you think he might be wanting to say that for late game?
I think he will be saving it for his third tome play, I believe.
That makes sense. To guarantee.
To enable Vestige, and so on.
That's a good point because you guarantee that card into your soul, don't you, to turn that on. And he's probably thinking at this point, it doesn't matter enough to me, that 2 arcane damage.
Yeah, there you go. Using Footsteps to defend Fixing Mouse and preventing 1 arcane and losing 1 spectral shield.
So you can see what Rohan has as a follow-up here. So he has 1 rune chant out. He's got the Rosetta Thorn potentially. Card in hand, card of Arsenal. Okay, Rune Flash coming through. So that's coming through for 1+4. That is that, technically, yes, it's a break point, but the spectral shields, like we're talking about, you can, if Henry wants to, he has kind of a lot of options here, doesn't he?
Yes. So he still has 1 to prevent the rune chant, 1 floating from previous, and then Rune Flash will be coming in for 4.
And I feel if he defends with 1 card and loses spectral shield, he's probably just totally fine with that.
Yeah. Because it's just, as you can see, in Henry's hand there is a Ode to Wraith. I'm not sure if he has 2 yellows, but if he keeps those 3 cards, he can just play the Ode of Wraith on his turn, get the 2 yellows, and his.
I think this is an example of how expensive Viserai is. He's paying 4 mana this turn to do like 11 or 12 damage.
Which is potentially 2 damage.
Absolutely. No,
It's not good.
Probably a bit of flexibility to lean on in regards to his life total and spectral shields.
Then you can have some turns where you pay 1 mana and you do 25 damage.
Which Rohan doesn't really seem to have time to do here. The explosiveness of Viserai is a little bit limited, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, he does really have that option if he wants to, of just saying, hey, you know what, I'll take 3 or 4 more damage and it's not the end of the world.
So pitching Meet and Greet to Rosetta, Henry will gladly take it all.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we were talking about there. So Henry, I think he's just playing this perfectly so far. He knows he has that card advantage built in from the library. He knows he just needs to keep the yellows in hand and treat that life as a resource.
Yep.
Now we can see that there is Rohan does have I believe a Sonata in hand.
Wow.
Yeah,
Attacking for 2
yellows to play Ode.
And then that's 5 more cards next turn.
Yeah. And an Ode.
Are those yellow?
And an Ode, let's not forget that.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he's
they are.
attacking for 2 damage for 3 card hand. The library
wonder if
is
we're
helping
looking at,
mitigate how
the life total
inefficient the
suggests
play
that
is.
Rohan is ahead by 7 life, but what we've been discussing is he seems to be falling behind in card advantage throughout the game. Do you think, is there a potential for Rohan to look to pivot at some point back to that rune chart build? So if he can look to maybe make something work with like a Mordred Tide, read the runes turn to build up, say, 8 to 10 rune charts.
What are you doing?
And try to make something happen with Bloodsheath and
I don't know why he's thinking so hard about blocking
there's,
this.
There's definitely.
Just use
He set his
grasp.
hand down like they were about to call a judge or
It's a
something.
question of time, isn't it? Does he have time?
That's the time, and will Henry let him?
Yep.
Because Henry's attacks are pretty. The heralds, they're pretty big.
They are. And they've all got go again all the time.
All got go again, and then if you build more and more spectras, it just gets harder and harder for Rohan. He can't leave these spectras untouched.
That's a good point, because the only reason this game has been kept relatively close is because Rohan's been putting the pressure on every turn as best he can, forcing out these blocks. As soon as he stops doing that, when we start thinking like, 2 heralds plus multiple auras coming down with Ode to Wraith, it just becomes so hard, doesn't it?
It gets out of control.
It always bothers me when people say
So
Ode
that's
to
like the
Wraith.
4th library draw?
Okay, but the Moverins
yeah.
guys are putting in work.
And to read the runes, what?
Read the runes.
Okay, so it looks like that might just be...
That's
he
not
doesn't
good.
have much going on, so...
That's not what
Wait,
you're
Wait, so
watching.
he didn't block at all just so he could read the runes?
Trying to set up because in his hand he does have Sonata Arcanics.
Yep.
Look,
So interesting.
he's
looking
got a
at his hand
Sonata
here.
in hand.
It's not quite. Oh, he may just be passing priority back to Henry, of
Yeah.
course, because Prism can play it
Henry
instantly.
does have a merciful in hand, I believe.
Also, just perhaps that Prism hero ability, which is once per turn, may have considered.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
because he's next level New Zealand player.
But this has been quite a
That's right.
sort of
New Zealand,
a lot of
best
games today.
region.
It's been really exciting for me just watching these two players try and sort of navigate this game a little bit.
It's very.
Mhm.
It's been
That was a
beautiful.
big mistake.
It has, because I think
That
we
might
kind
cost
of
him
see
the game.
Rohan sort of fighting the tide. He knows eventually that this is
Depends
a turn
on if
that
the Prism
Henry
has
can
a
put the
punish.
pressure on. It might be a
So
little
you
bit
could still have
overwhelming. It'll allow him to sort of pull
sixes
so
in
far
hand
ahead
where Prism
that
has to
it
plan
becomes
around
quite
that.
difficult for Rohan. But I
And the
think
Prism's
Rohan
not
might be looking at
necessarily
it
always
going,
going to have enough yellows to
my one
pitch
chance here
while still
is
threatening anything relevant.
getting off a Sonata Skeleton turn.
Yeah.
Because
It's the best
otherwise,
cards in
I think he's kind
Prism's
of given
decks
up
are
on trying
yellow,
to
so it's like pitching your reds.
break through with enough damage.
I think I see what
But, if he
what's
did say
happening
10 to
here.
12
He
rune
sees the
chance,
Sonata
he's
in
probably correct.
hand,
He might be able to get
so
two
he
down.
wants to
But
build
then
up some rune
suddenly
chance so he
we
can
don't. That
Scalata
19
Sonata
life is
on
looking
his
a little
turn.
bit thin.
Right, but it's not going to be very
What?
big
But
skill.
that
this turn.
seems like
Yeah. So here comes
a
the
bad
merciful.
play. Like I don't think you go for that now.
Well,
So
the funny
these are
thing
gonna
is
really
that
start to hurt now,
the
aren't they?
Prism's also letting off the
Yeah.
gas.
So they're attacking for one.
Like
but
two
if-
auras
if
against
that's-
Viscera is not that relevant because like
Oh, it's
Viscera
no
can just hit
trigger.
your face and ignore the
dealing
auras.
Another damage. So it's
Yeah,
like
I think the
Zoe's
Prism
quick,
should be
go again.
One thing I want to point out
swinging
here is
for the fences right now
potentially
because that was a
Rohan's
hella
looking to pick up every
suspicious
Sonata turn.
play.
He's got
He
Erudition
does know
and
that
War Tomb in
those
hand.
Arclight Sentinels have been
But
pushed to the
that's what I'm
bottom.
saying, right?
So
If he
it
pitched
means
his
that
yellows,
he doesn't necessarily
his
need to worry
hand
about that as much.
just gets worse.
But again, like we say, it's
He's got another
gonna
merciful.
be might be a bit of a tall, order to survive all the way through until you build up enough rune chance to get there.
So Henry has another merciful and a blue
Oh
card.
come on, don't block now.
I think he will.
At this point, you just
making
let
a
those go
shield
through.
with
They're just
Prism
Kadachis.
Terror ability, attacking for another 2, and then arsenaling the merciful
It's the worst time to block.
would be quite a
Prism's
good play.
sandbag the turn to try and generate more value over time.
Bated breath. How's it gonna turn out? Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
I guess you can
Fiddler
block
with
the 3 of the
Reaper
runes.
I think he's gonna go. He's gonna do the Sonata play.
This turn. Okay.
I don't think he has time to
It's
wait.
gonna be the weakest
That's
Sonata.
fair. To put in perspective, while these players have been testing for months in the lead up to this, whereas I'm maybe a little bit just blindly speculating here of the players they can come up with. So it does make a lot of sense. Like read the runes.
God, I
Obviously
hope
does
he
not
draws
go again.
Arclight
So if
and
you
just
spend a
fucking
full turn
punishes
planning
him.
to get 3 rune chance.
He won't. I don't
he's
think.
playing on
He had 2
6,000
Arclights at the bottom of his deck.
To his disposal, two auras.
I doubt he'll have another
it's
one.
probably just not going to work, is it?
It'd be funny though.
Okay, so we'll see what Henry wants to follow up with here. Yeah, because I suppose even with, say, 4 rune chance, the Miracle Sonata, if everything hits perfectly, goes in his favor, he might be able to string together something, just to put a bit of pressure on.
So Rohan's really thinking about this spectral shield attack.
I wonder if he's thinking, like, is this the turn that I take the damage because
Dude, what if
there won't be that
Library
many turns
was an
I can,
aura? You
left
can
in the
use
game.
as a weapon.
Is this the one I do and go for the Sonata, or is this where I just have to wait?
OP.
Maybe they'll errata it.
And again, like, a lot of pressure
Use
on
it with
both these
Luminaris
players. Both of
or,
them are very well aware that the winner of this
Iris.
will be live going, or basically will make it through.
I'm just
to
joking.
J2,
I
and
know.
it's sort of 1-3-0 draft
funny
away
though.
from effectively making the top 8.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, anything can happen in draft as well. I feel like you draft an amazing deck, you go
I
for
do
a go,
think
and
they
then top 8
selected
teams are alive.
100%. Just like
2
Kel's,
players that are not all that
Autumn deck
interesting.
Zero Equipment.
This isn't as exciting as the Matt Rogers and Cal game or the
Players sort
the
of
game
really
before
going
that.
into the tank here to figure out.
What's crazy is
This year we may see Rohan just try and make
Yeah,
it
so
work for
far
this year, 'cause
only
I think
only the
Henry's
Mad
been
Rogers and
playing
KL games
very
have been
cleanly here,
like
setting up his auras,
next level.
getting,
But yeah,
not getting
definitely
too
just
greedy,
feels like
defending
all
what he needs
the
to,
the
really
shit
just setting
talk like
himself
New
up
Zealand has
for
spouted out
mid
over
game
the
where,
years is like
the auras
has
like
not
really
lived
feel
up to what they
overpowered.
said.
And here we see the
Not at all.
bloodshed come down.
Yeah.
Fireworks.
This
Skeletor
like
for
this
4.
looks like
Oh,
playing
no.
another player on my armory.
Yeah.
Sonata.
No, yeah, New Zealand they're good at shit talking. That's at least.
Okay, so that happened really quick. There was
That's about as
like
good as you
no
can get on
priority
Rohan.
there.
I mean, probably not the best attack
Get this
damage
guy
to
outta
reveal,
here.
but he, did hit the cards. He
It
hit
was
the
like
cards, so
Scalata Sonata,
that's
throw
2
it down
damage
on
coming
the
through.
table.
Right. He doesn't have
Yeah,
Arclight.
maybe the opponent won't notice.
But again, Henry with those 5 cards in hand, it just feels like so much to overcome. And
Oh, there we go. Using Halo.
He might try and dig for it if he's got a tome.
did he use?
Is he?
I think he used.
So this
that
must
Hero
be a
Judgment into
heavy
Soul
Herald
Eater.
build if we see a Judgment there.
There we go. You called it early in the game. The
I
tome
mean,
of
I use
Infinity Eater.
judgments now.
And this is
It's
not
like
what
a
Rohan
filler
wants to see
card.
on this turn.
Yeah,
Hey,
I know.
he's probably saying to himself, "You already have 5 cards in hand."
I think Henry is really digging for his Arclight Sentinel this turn.
I don't think he's gonna find
I mean,
Arclight here.
been watching super close. but
Okay,
it
so
feels
and
much
that was
more
also the
organized,
5th
but maybe
library
I've-
draw.
Yeah,
Another
just got a
merciful.
second merciful into another.
Oh.
That's kind of funny, I guess.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
So,
Does this give Rohan a bit of a window though?
He just
Yeah.
threw his hand up.
You know, Henry's got himself extremely well.
Oh my
He's-
god.
He's probably like, oh, I'm
Okay.
being high rolled.
Okay, now
Sweet
we have
baby
a
Jesus.
But now he just punched the prism with
This
the
is
teeth.
what we call the
Yeah.
aura
What do those do
package.
if he dies? He's got nothing to
Wow.
block with
So
now,
Wow.
right?
2
Three
O2 A's, 3
times
merciful retributions.
3. It's like
The spectral shield's
One
gonna get
shield.
taken out.
so it will
3
be-
damage
oh, wow.
times 2
How much damage is that?
is
I'll
6
let Lem do
damage.
the math. Is that like 5, 10?
It's not, it shouldn't be that much. Yeah, 9. Yeah, because each
Eight,
arc
nine.
ping does 3, so it's 9.
We'll
Yeah.
let the players do the math.
God.
But
That's pretty
but saying
wild.
that, does this
Yes.
give
Yeah,
Rohan
so
a
now you
window?
just
it's
make a
three-
shield
so
and it
it's
does
3
9 damage.
per merciful, because of 2 O's.
Like,
So
there's
3
no way
damage
you
for
come back
one,
from
3
this.
damage from one,
Unless he
3
kills him
damage
this turn by
including-
ignoring the
including
auras.
the 2 O's.
And saying that though, like
Uh,
obviously,
yeah, I
Henry
guess he
sounds like
doesn't
cards in hand here.
have any
Henry's
cards in
library
hand.
now.
Also,
the
library
shield's
isn't
down, like,
going to be
this
active
is
next turn, and
why-
he doesn't have a yellow to
I
get
mean,
go again.
it made sense for
So
us
he's
to
only
go
going to
for
attack
this,
for 1
and
next turn.
I mean,
Yeah, so I guess
18
let's see
damage,
if
it's a tall
Mr.
order,
I
but
can
it's
do
what
18
this
damage.
player can do. He does have, I believe,
I
spell
think he
creatures
can.
up that may help him out. Okay, 8
1, 2,
damage.
3,
that's
If
not
he
a bad
can, he
start.
wins. If he can't, he loses.
So it's 8, so he's
Wow,
almost halfway
this
there.
is turning into a thriller.
Oh yeah, he
Me
definitely.
agree.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's got
Way
go
to
again.
go.
That's coming in for 5.
Idiot.
Wait, that's going to make a rune chant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my fucking
Oh,
god.
no.
Look at all these
Prism.
block cards.
Why
he
would
put
you
in
do this,
his-
Prism?
Rohan for Henry, because
Oh
that's coming
my
in for
god,
5.
create your rune chant. Create your rune
And
chant.
create a rune chant.
Don't let him roll shark you.
Wait, 4 plus 1 arcane. That's 2 rune
5.
chants because maybe one from that.
He's still got 2 cards in hand.
He only
The
brought
Rosetta
one
Thorn.
rune
The
chant.
Rosetta Thorn is potentially
He
lethal
just
here,
announced
isn't it?
the Rosetta
Oh
Thorn.
my,
Oh
and then
my
Rosetta
God,
for
isn't
game,
it?
literally.
Yeah.
Because
Nah, he's gonna
vestige
keep
blocks
going.
for 1, but like it's
Am
not
I
enough.
missing something?
He's
or
just
is-
gonna be extra.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Bruh.
oh,
Wait.
oh my God.
What?
Henry, why?
Wow.
My god.
What a way to finish the day.
Oh,
Yeah,
Why?
these
What
players
happened?
good.
I looked away and I thought
Yeah,
Prism
but
was
I
winning,
feel
and
like
then
got too greedy there.
He just
Never
threw the
go
game.
full aura.
And it-
how? How did he lose the game?
Oh, wow.
What did he do?
Yeah,
Dude,
so
he
I
dumped
think
his
they
whole
walked
hand to
into
play
it.
auras, and the
I
visitor just
don't
ignored
think
them.
that,
So,
but-
I'm so shocked.
Let's see
Oh
how many
my
cards he
gosh.
got.
He had a lot of auras in
One,
hand, so it
two.
was a little bit of a forced play, but it looked like he did pitch some cards that he could defend with.
Yes.
And I think he maybe just didn't respect the Vizrai burst damage enough.
Oh my
yeah,
god.
I think he just got too. He got
Bruh.
too greedy, trying to play out all
Bruh.
these auras and just leave him wide open.
The one thing there was
That's
I
not a
will
good
say is-
follow-up to the last
so Rohan
match.
must have had in hand the Rune Flash and the Meet and Greet, I think. So I think he revealed a Spellblade Assault and a Dread Triptych.
Yeah,
so
so-
Henry might have been thinking like, you know, there's not enough damage.
Garbage.
to go through. Like these attacks don't have go again. He's got the creepers, but not enough resources. Oh wow, I'm just in absolute shock right now. That is.
He's in disbelief right now why he lost. He's counting everything up.
Oh my god.
It's
what
like,
a-
bro,
Like,
this
he's
keeps
like, what? You
That's
didn't
gotta
go for the
up.
auras?
That's gotta be
It's like,
devastating.
no, I hit
Even
him
though I
in the
left
mouth.
my
You
bro.
had the game. You had to.
I can't believe that happened.
Like, I've got
That's
the
so
setup.
funny.
If he doesn't kill me this turn, it's over.
Wow.
But we also had to give full credit to Rohan. He dealt with that library the entire game, and he pivoted his game plan. He had that one turn with 3 runes where he thought, I'm going to go for the Sonata play, see if I can hit 2 cards, and see if the dream is live. And the dream was alive. It was,
Man.
oh, that is an absolute heartbreaker for Henry.
Oh, is this a win and end?
Stuff right now.
Wow, and
The day
you
2
know,
or whatever?
what a story.
Yeah, this
that's
is it.
a highlight play for me. If we had a
Okay.
highlight reel,
But you had to
that's
win
gotta go
6
into it.
matches
Rohan
to get
must
to
be
day
feeling he
2.
got out of jail.
Yeah, he has to go undefeated
Must-
though
he-
on
Rohan
day
must be so
2
stoked
to
right
just
now.
like make it to top 8.
What a way to
Essentially, to have a chance.
They're not cutting the top 8 now.
It'll be tomorrow. Tomorrow is 3 rounds of draft and then top 8.
Just to put the cherry on the cake. Oh
Well,
my
he's got a
God.
good chance as long as he plays
What?
people like this program again.
But that's the thing with Flesh and Blood. Like Newsom and I, we both just absolutely love the game so much.